PLC Network here with another unboxing, and we have something new today from the company innopow. This is a professional wireless system for, well, whatever you need it for. It could be for meeting rooms or karaoke or whatever you'd like, but this is more of an entry-level solution, so if you're not looking to spend a ton of money on large manufacturer or large name products like Shure and Sennheiser and things like that, this might be a starting point for you since it's affordable for one, and for two, it comes with 4 microphones. So as you can see, it's a rack mountable unit here. This is the receiver here that has all 4 channels built in. And then you have your 4 mics. So something like this from companies like Shure and Sennheiser, and it's going to cost you a lot more than the price tag of this guy. So again, it's entry level, so it's probably not going to sound 100% just like some of those, but hopefully it does sound good either way. But they do pass it off as a wireless solution for, again, professional usage. It says innopow, professional UHF wireless microphone system, professional. So supposedly this might be good enough to use in meeting room situations. So I wouldn't use it for a general session or a rock concert or anything like that, but at home in your living room or small hotels with meeting rooms and things like that, this might actually be perfect. We're making announcements during events and whatnot. You have a full safe frequency range to use this in. It covers 535 to 575 megahertz, which keeps it below the 600 spectrum that was kind of sold off recently in that auction that they did, and where they took away a lot of our frequencies. We had to replace some gear here as well. But it's in a safe range. You have, again, 4 channels of wireless here. Everything, all the microphones take AA batteries, just like any other handheld. And you get about, they claim, up to 16 hours of use by using original battery. Maybe they think that the batteries that are in here, if they are in here, will last up to 16 hours. I doubt that. Usually wireless microphones don't really last that well, unless it only has like a 5-foot throw to it or something. But if you're going to use this in professional situations, this has to have at least a couple 100 feet throw, hopefully at least 100 minimum, worst case scenario. And but we're going to check this out. We're going to see what it looks like in a box, see what it sounds like, because that's the most important thing. What does it look like? What does it sound like? Does it work? You have an instruction manual to walk you through all the specifications and setup of the device. Of course, if you have any experience with anything like this, you're probably going to put that off to the side and you'll probably figure it out on your own within just a minute or two. So the receivers here, you have your 2 antenna outputs right here in the back, so you can put some bunny ears on this, or if you have a DA system, it might actually work with that. But you have 4 balanced outputs on the back for XLR, and then you have a 1/4-inch mix out here, so you can just mix everything out as one mono channel if you so choose. And then of course your DC output right there for powering it up. It's pretty straightforward on the back. The front, you have your power button. It looks like a lot of power conditioners out there and some of the other entry-level brands out there for wireless. You have 2 screens here to control all 4 mics with, plus 4 volume dials here, which will probably, I would assume, be used for settings as well, hopefully, unless these are touchscreen, which I doubt. You have your holes here, so that way if you want to install your some antenna adapters here on the front, you can put a short jumper between the back and the front, so you can store the or you can install the bunny ears and or BNC cables going from this to your fins or whatever solution from the front instead of from behind. So you definitely have some options. Of course, rack mountable or not, that's up to you. They do have rubber feet on the bottom, so you can sit it down as is without having to mount it, and it's not going to scratch the surface of whatever it's sitting on. You have 2 rabbit ear, bunny ear, whatever antennas here, and they're pretty much the same as you'd expect on just about any wireless unit. And then look at that, you do have batteries here and a bunch of rubber bands that don't seem to be going anywhere. But you have 4 Excel alkaline batteries here. So if you're gonna get up to 16 hours of use out of this, that would be pretty impressive. I mean, you throw in a Energizer Industrial or a Duracell ProCell battery in there, I'm sure you're gonna get even more than that, but something tells me it's not gonna go that far. You have your 1/4-inch to 3.5 adapter, which also has another 1/4-inch underneath it, so you can go mixed out to mono in to no matter, DSLR or a mixer or an amp or whatever your case may be. And then of course, you could do XLR, all 4 channels out going into a mixer, so you can control each one separately, which for any professional, if you're using this for karaoke, this would be just fine. If you're using this for a professional situation, I would highly recommend getting the XLR cables, which unfortunately it doesn't come with. I'm not too surprised about that, but go to Guitar Center or Amazon, find yourself 4 reasonable XLR cables, lengthwise, whatever it takes to get to wherever your inputs are on your mixer, if you're feeding it to a mixer, and invest your money into that, because you will thank yourself. If you're using it in a professional situation, you do not want to use this cable. You want to be able to control each channel separately. You have your plug here for powering it with, and of course your 4 microphones. Now these microphones absolutely look like Shure's, and in fact, extremely similar to some of the Shure's we have on site. It's heavy, which is interesting. You have your transmitter here at the bottom and your mic at the top. And just like, well, semi-similar to a Shure microphone, you can swap out the head, it looks like. So if you damage this, you can just buy another one of these or buy a different mic type maybe. I doubt a Shure head would fit in here, or a Sennheiser head would fit in here, but it might be worth a try for a test later on. You have your up and down here switch for turning it on, and your LCD display to see status. And then you have your battery input in the back, which is, again, quite similar to Shure, but your 2 AA batteries in there. So it looks like here there is a sticker here. It says 568.65 megahertz. So unfortunately, and this is where the catch comes into play. So these might actually sound incredibly good. I don't know. But these are fixed frequencies, so you cannot change the frequency on these microphones. So there is a pretty decent separation there in frequencies. They're not, really calling it close by the decimal point or anything like that. So they do have some separation in the frequencies, so that way they're not coming close to stepping on each other. I still wouldn't use these though in a heavy RF environment. So if you have a lot of things wireless going on, I probably wouldn't use these at all. So not on convention floors or anything. You won't see any of our mobile kits running around with something like that. Given this isn't really mobile, this is for a install situation or meeting rooms. But I wouldn't, unless you absolutely were able to control which frequencies you're buying into if you're buying multiple versions of these, because it doesn't really give you that option on the website. It's a complete, it's completely at random. So you can buy 4 of these, and there could be a chance that all 4 of them are on the same frequencies, or maybe they're, some of them are and some of them aren't. So that does get a little risky. So this would best be, when I mentioned earlier about meeting rooms, probably if you have like 1 meeting room, or if you have 4 meeting rooms and you do your outs going to a mixer, or each one to a different mixer, and you control each room separately or something like that, and just use the same receiver. In the mix of things, maybe you can pull off something like that. But since these are fixed frequencies, I would be extremely careful about where you use these, since if you start taking hits, there's nothing you can really do about it except change your microphone with, grab another one of these. So you could use it that way, use this as a single kit in a professional environment, and if you start taking hits, swap it out with one of the other microphones, and now you have 4 frequencies to play with. You can view it that way. But again, this is probably best at home karaoke situations and the like. So we have that taken care of. The most important thing here is, what does it sound like? And we're gonna go ahead and hook it to our setup here and run it to our board over there, and let's find out. So what we've done here is we've hooked it up. We ran power to it. We ran an XLR line to our board that's feeding the camera. And this is what it sounds like. What we did is we turned on a random handheld. We put batteries in there, saw which of the inputs on the receiver was picking it up, ran the XLR to that specific one. So, done. There's nothing you can set. On the front, the LCD display is pretty easy to read. It looks actually really nice. It's multiple colors, actually. You have blue and white and yellow at the bottom there, and it shows that auto sync is on, so it's automatically going to sync up with the microphone. Not that you can change the frequency, sadly. It shows transmit power is on high, so you should get some good coverage, I guess, from this. And this is actually what it sounds like. I don't even have the antennas plugged in right now. And that was actually going to be our first impression of, we're sitting right by the unit. What happens if you don't even plug in the antenna? And it's actually picking me up right now. So we're going to go ahead and put on the antennas, and then I'm going to walk away and just keep walking. Okay, so the antennas are in right here, and now this is what it sounds like with the antennas on, which isn't going to make too much of a difference because I'm right here. But if I would have started walking away, like past a couple feet away, it probably would have started dropping really quickly. Now the antennas here, unlike the Shure's and the Sennheisers, these screw all the way on, whereas the other ones, they just have that little slide and lock kind of mechanism. This one is actually a full screw on, so you have to sit there and screw to get it on. But now they're on. This is what it sounds like on. If I cup the transmitter on the microphone, we don't seem to be losing any of the signal, which is good. And so I'm going to go walk now. I'm going to see how far I can get and see what it sounds like. Now I'm walking through the studio here to the opposite side here, and I'm about, let's say, this is probably a good 100 feet, maybe 75 feet. 75 feet. I'm being told 75 feet. Now I'm going to walk down the hallway a little bit, and now I would say I'm a good couple 100 feet away from the receiver, holding the microphone normally. And this is through walls now, since I've gone out of the studio and down the hall. Now I'm going to cup the transmitter, the antenna at the bottom of the microphone, as sometimes you hand a mic to somebody and they actually hold the mic like this, and they're kind of blocking or reducing the signal that's being able to transmit to the receiver when they do this. So in this kind of a situation, now we can see what it sounds like at 200 feet away through walls. So there you have it. This is the innopow, again, professional wireless microphone system. It is their WM400, available on Amazon. We will have links in the description so you can figure out where to find the microphones, and we'll lead you straight to them. And of course, we have a comment section below, so feel free to share. What do you think? Let's talk about this, as well as a subscription button so you can see what other neat toys we get to talk about later on and in the past. And as always, we thank you for watching, and we'll catch you next time. If you want to stay on top of all the latest and greatest, and or at least the gadgets we cover, remember to subscribe right here. Subscription button. Click it. You're going to want to. There's lots of videos, interviews, previews, all sorts of stuff. Button. Click it.